sit your ass down and prepare to get educated. Abide to what this Judas Priest tells you. I'm sorry, fellow Judas Priest, could you please repeat that? He needs you to abide. Now shut the fuck up. Sit down. And we are your hosts. I am Steven Steele. I'm Stack the Ripper. And tonight on Metalocity, who do we have? None other than Nick Menza. Alright, so stay tuned for that, because that's going to be fucking exploding in your face. Kosher Metal.
My dudist priest.
Dudist priest. Ordained dudist priest.
Official.
That shit's bona fide, dude. We should show up at weddings and just take
all the
over.
food.
Take over, right?
Well, excuse me, I'm going to hit the buffet before I
feel like we should have some robes or something official, like a name badge or something, you know?
I got business cards almost. Kind of.
Business cards is a good place to do
It's about the same size as a business card.
We're like business dudist priests. We understand the concept of supply and demand.
What kind of business priest are you?
Yeah. We're improvising.
Dudist priest.
Yeah. The Doodly Llamas of metal.
Oh, dude, we could actually use that. The Doodly Llamas of metal.
Yeah, I like that.
Because we're not straight out. We're of metal.
Yeah. So coming up pretty soon, we will have Nick Menza on the show.
Yes, this is true.
It's going to be coming up in this talking break. So we'll make this talking break. Yeah. We'll make this talking break as long as necessary to have the full amount of coolness we can have.
The full amount. That's the full Monty right there.
I see you taking some notes over there, dude. You got some good stuff?
Kind of, yeah. People want to know some pretty interesting shit,
Do they? Digging the dirt, huh?
No, not so much dirt. Well, maybe, I don't know. Depends on how he wants to react to that one.
Well, let's go ahead and take this call. Hey, what's up? You are on Metalocity.
Hey, Kosher Metal.
You got it. What's up, man?
This is Nick Menza calling you guys.
All right.
Excellent. How you doing tonight?
Good, man. How are you? Who am I speaking with?
Pardon that is poor manners right there. I am Stack the Ripper.
I'm Steven Steele. I was the one
saying... Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I'm calling the right place.
Yeah, you got it, man. Thanks. We appreciate it that you were able to take some time to call us.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Right on. So it's pretty cool because we've been fans for a long time, so we're like... Well,
yeah, me too.
That's cool.
All right. Sweet.
I've been a fan. I was a fan before I was in the band.
Nice.
Well, see, everybody's always a perpetual fan, right?
Yeah, and I'm still a fan after the band. It's a funny thing, I still keep close tabs on those guys and check them out. And the last show I saw of Megadeth was at House of Blues, and I walked in the dressing room after the show, and I had a napkin, and I go, "Hey guys, I just wanted to go over the set with you guys," and a couple of notes that I took out there while I was watching, and they all looked at me like, "Who the hell is this guy?" And they realized who it was, and Dave's like, "Did you really take notes on the set?" And I said, "Yeah, dude, I just take some notes for you guys and just give you a couple little helpful hints there, little pointers." And
I'm going to be your biggest critic.
It was a good wind-up. It was weird sitting there watching him. Like the first time I went and saw him with another drummer, I was like, wow. It's like seeing somebody else be your girlfriend.
No.
Oh, man. You know what? I could testify to that. That is terrible. I've seen the game unfold.
Feeling,
wow, that would be a weird feeling, man, to see somebody else blasting out your beats, huh?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Everything happens the way it's supposed to,
Yeah,
they do say that there is a plan involved somewhere that the person above has for you.
Yep,
hey, I just wanted to throw out there. I see that you are going to be doing that rock and roll autograph show.
Yes.
That is awesome. So I was looking at that, and that's a really cool thing. And all your proceeds are going to the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And that's an awesome thing.
Yeah, that's very cool.
That's a very
great cause. They even considered having me do that. It was cool.
Well, yeah. I mean, you properly sit upon a throne of
for sure,
of playing some influential shit right there, playing a part in some influential music in history there.
It's funny, after all the time that's transpired, it's like I've been really not doing much except raising a couple boys and living here in Studio City enjoying my at-home life.
Yeah, it's good times.
Now, all this stuff just started popping up. I'm putting this book out, and I actually just lost the thing in today for South America. There's like an all-star jam band going on over there, and they called me up and said, "Do you want to play drums?" And I said, "Sure." Who's doing it? And they said, Phil is doing it from Pantera, and Joey Belladonna from Anthrax.
Nice.
Udo Dirk Schneider. There's a bunch of singers, Max Cavalera.
Yes.
And each guy's going to do like 30 minutes. It's going to be like a small little tour, and I'm kind of psyched about that. That's going to be cool. It's going to be like 10 days, I think, in South America.
That's friggin' amazing, man.
That is cool.
They got some good names on there, including yourself there.
Yeah, and I don't know who the guitar players and the bass players are, but there's like a handful of guys for each thing, and then each person can do like 5 songs from their band, and then pick the guys that they want to play on it. And I don't know who the other drummers are, but I just found out about it today, so I'll keep you guys posted on that and let you know the details. I'm sure you'll hear about it too as well.
Oh, yeah. Yes, we're excited about that now.
Yes, sir.
Even more than when we first heard it there.
So, hey, man, about your book, Mega Life, right?
Yes.
Yep.
That's going to be awesome.
Yep, I see it's going to be coming out in stores, and you can get it, the ebook version coming. Is that out already on the 19th?
So is the book already out?
No, it's not. I'm still trying to finish up the cover right now, and just a couple more little rim shots in there. I call them little stories, and
nice.
It's just filled with everything from my whole upbringing to Megadeth to on tour to alien cover-ups, government conspiracies, and supernatural ongoings behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, you know what? Actually, that sounds our kind of stuff.
Yeah,
because we're always talking about similar situations. That sounds like a good read, man. I'm looking forward to it.
It doesn't.
Yeah, it's fun.
It says you said that it covers from the beginning, man. You started playing drums when you were 2. That is fantastic.
I gotta ask, what inspires you at 2?
I have no idea. I was like implanted with the aliens or something, but. Actually, what do you know at 2? I can't even remember back to where I was 5. I look at a picture and I'm like, that's me? Oh, wow, nice.
As soon as you became self-aware, you already had drumsticks in your hand.
Yeah, I mean, so the story...
I can't remember 2 myself.
So the story goes...
I didn't
read
just
it on
come out of the
websites.
womb and play. It wasn't like I was like good at 2. I sucked at 2.
But some people
a while
have a
to
gift.
build up to that point to where I realized like what kind of music I wanted to play, and if I even wanted to be a drummer, I played guitar and I played trumpet and I played piano and I played all these instruments, thinking, hey, this one makes a cool noise. Let's play this one for a while.
Making noise at 2 years old.
It's good to be versatile.
My dad was doing a festival at Montreux. He's a jazz player, Don Menza, and his drummer that he was playing with this guy, Jack DeJohnette. He picked me up and put me up on his drum kit during the set change in between bands. And he said, let me show you guys what independence is all about, like being independent. And he put me up on the kit, and I just started playing on it. And
at the Montreux Jazz Festival.
Yeah. And the picture is funny. I'm like, I got my eyes closed, and I'm holding the sticks, and I'm just like playing around on the kit. Having no recollection of that, obviously, but the picture's in my book. It's a funny picture.
That's awesome. Some people have the gift.
See, I might have to refute the fact that you weren't born out of the womb with sticks in your hand.
Yeah, some people are born with the gift.
No, I mean, there's guys like Buddy Rich that are like tap dancing at 2 on Broadway and have rhythm, and it took me a while to work up to having a beat where I could play it and think I wanted to be a drummer, So they get to a certain point. As soon as I went and saw Song Remains the Same in the movie theaters, I walked out of the theater going, you know what? I want to be in a band and I want to go on tour. My dad wanted to send me to Berkeley School of Music, and I'm like, Dad, please don't send me to Berkeley. I want to be in a rock band, and I want to go on tour. And he's like, no, I could send you there. You could learn about music and theory and blah, 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 and how to read. And I'm like, no, dude, I don't want to do that.
Want some life experience.
I want to play drums in a band and like create, and be like the guy. Be that guy.
Yeah. Well, going to Berkeley is a good place to learn how to drink too much and throw up, that's for sure. But you don't have to spend $50,000 to learn how to do that.
No, see,
you can learn that just by doing it. Yeah,
you can do that on tour.
Dude,
you get the same kind of education.
I was in such fear. I was so fearful of that he was going to send me there, and I could do it with my mom. I'm like, please tell Dad not to send me there. I was like in shock over it. I was like, God, I was petrified. Like, God, I can imagine leaving Los Angeles and going to Boston at 18 years old. Well, it'll be a great experience for you. I'm like, I might as well join the Army, you know?
That is a vast change.
I'm telling you, I was so not into that. And after seeing Led Zeppelin, I was like, dude, this is what I want to do with my life. Little did I know that it would take me to where I am today, but it's all good.
You know, and like I said, that's awesome. You know, we've been fans. We're actually going to play some. We have some Megadeth, some of our favorite songs that you were in, on deck for later on.
This is true.
Yeah.
What songs are those?
Let's see. You got Hangar 18, Skin in My Teeth, Black Curtains.
Nice.
And where's the other one? I'm looking at the list in front of me here.
There's so many.
Could have sworn that Sweat and Bullets was up in there. I suggested that one, but you know.
Oh, my bad.
So,
dude. I'm sorry. Did I leave out your
You know what's
request?
funny? It's like I look at stuff on YouTube of like videos of us playing, and I look at all the comments on there, which I never ever have done in the past. And somebody said, "Dude, have you ever looked at the comments and what people say about you?" I'm like, no, I don't look at that guy. I don't watch him. You know, like I started in that, and I don't like looking at it. Not that I'm ashamed of it or anything. It's just
You were there. You lived it. Huh?
Yeah. I starred in that movie, and it's like, when I watch the videos, I have no recall of that stuff. It's like, people ask me, don't you remember that show? And I'm like, it's you playing that. Yeah, I know, I see it. But it doesn't stand out in my memory. The only things that stand out of my memory are the bad shows that we had, which were not very many. But those are the ones that embed themselves in your memory.
I mean, when something magical or unmagical happens, but you know, when you're literally doing shows like almost every night for months at a time, it's hard to discern which show was which, you know?
We did like 300 shows a year, a couple runs there. I was like, can we have a day off today?
Yeah,
no days.
busy schedule.
James tells me, he goes, dude, there's no days off. There's just non-performance days. And I'm like, what? So I'm on the clock every day. And he goes, that's right. I go, cool, then I need to be on a retainer.
Well, at least he's
When
understanding.
you get home, I need to be on a retainer. If you want me to be like assertive and be ready, you know, I get to call him every day. Okay, I'm checking in. I'm riding my bike.
What's up for the day, huh?
Right. It's like,
I have a riff idea. Menza's on call. Give him one.
Yeah. Make him do the interviews. Make him do the press. I always told the management, I say, you know what? I will turn down no press. I don't care if it's a fanzine, a college mag, whatever it is.
Oh, yeah, you know what?
Interview.
Yeah, any publicity is good publicity, right?
For sure. Well, I don't want to be in the obituaries, but...
Well, no, that's the wrong kind of publicity.
Every press is good press, and, like, you know, I'm all down for that, no matter what it is.
Nice. That's what leads you to us right now. Eh?
Bring them on, you know. It's like the fact that anybody wants to even talk to you is like, it's all good. Righteous.
Well, yeah, we're definitely excited to have you on the show. We've got a bunch of listeners tonight, so you know,
And,
everybody's
cool.
been hitting us up like, all right, you guys are going to have Nick Menza on the show.
We have some fan-submitted questions.
Yes, we do. If you are okay, we took a, let's see, I got the paper right here in front of me.
Indeed.
Some of on our Facebook page, some fan-submitted questions. 4 of them.
Well, we had to weed out through trial and error. On
Oh,
these
well, yeah,
ones, you know.
we pulled out the coolest ones, we thought.
I believe there's
So-
about 5 or 6, actually.
Are you cool with us asking you a couple of these questions?
Of course,
All
whatever. Ask away.
All right.
I've got
cool.
answers.
Tom in Florida asks, how was the music put together? Did Mustaine just walk into the rehearsal studio and say, here's something called Holy Wars, and I will now teach you all how to play it from start to finish? Or was there more collaboration?
Nah, he'd just come in and start riffing out after being in traffic for the way down to the studio, and then we'd all just fall into place. And that was the beauty of that band, is that everybody could play their instruments really well, and you wouldn't have to say, dude, it's in the key of E, and go to this change here, and Marty'd just look at Dave, and then he'd start playing a harmony to what Dave was playing, and we'd just fall in on the beats, you know. And we rehearsed very little. I will say for the band, as good as tight as we were, we rarely rehearsed at all. It wasn't about rehearsing. It's like, you don't know your parts by now and what you're supposed to be playing. You better go take the CD and some headphones and go home and, like, review your shit and know it from beginning to end. That's what I tell kids when I do clinics, you know, other drummers. I say, dude, if you don't know the song from beginning to end by yourself, without hearing anybody else, then you don't really know the song. So shit's going to go down on you, and you're not going to be able to hear on stage, or you're doing these big, huge venues. Your monitors go out. You're screwed. You never stop. So
Sure.
a lot of times we'd finish a song, and I wouldn't hear anybody, and I'd look around, see if anybody's looking at me. I'm like, well, I guess I didn't fuck up because no one's looking at me. So if you get on that autopilot, you know, and it's like, you better know all your shit by that point. It's like, we rarely rehearse. We'd go look at our gear and make sure it all worked, and then the writing process is pretty much, you know, we just get together and jam and see what sticks and what doesn't. And
For sure. That's a cool way to do it. That's how we used to jam together, Stack and I, so and we would just get together, hang out, you know, have a couple beers, you know, and just start writing some songs, and then we'd pick out all the good ones and start puzzling pieces together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, man. Stack, why don't you go ahead and ask the next question?
All right. Well, actually, it was a continuation from Tom in Florida. We already kind of touched on this one, but you came up with the basic lyrical idea for Hangar 18. Does that mean you have a long-standing interest in UFOs, or is that something that is more recent?
No, I was definitely the guy that was into the ufology, and Dave had actually had, for Rust in Peace, the cover was going to be the same concept that was there, but they were going to be sitting around a Polaris missile. And I said, dude, we should put an alien on the cover and have, like, you know, Vic holding like a crystal to power the cryogenic chamber he's in, and show it in like Hangar 18 or whatever. And they just kind of ran with that. I mean, I don't really have any writing per se on Hangar 18 other than just coming up with the conceptual idea for it. And
Well, that's actually one of my favorite songs. So on that album. So
yeah, I like that one too. It's tricky. It's got some
probably a lot of people.
That was a lot of people's introduction to the video era of Megadeth, pretty much.
Yeah, there's a band that I just hooked up with that I'm doing some recording with, and from Croatia, the band Shafucio. I don't know how they say their name. I always mess it up. I think I have it together by now, but they do a version of Hangar 18 that they do that sounds like they pulled the stems off of one of our records and used it, because they're just like really deadly precise on it. And it sounds
cool.
good. There was just one little section at the very ending where like it speeds up and there's actions, and each time it's turnaround, it speeds up. The beat keeps getting faster and faster and faster, and they kept it the same tempo at the end. I was kind of tripped out by that. I'm like, how come you guys didn't speed up at the ending? And they're like, we couldn't. It was too fast. So
that's an insane part with some pretty wild changes right there to be keeping up and bringing up the tempo.
Well, it just speeds up. I just speed up naturally anyways. You know, people say, dude, you're always rushing everything. I go, no, that's called energy and excitement.
Heck
Adrenaline.
Yeah. Getting into it.
You
Got
want
beat the drums like they owe
to
you money.
to the climax and then, you know, bust out. If it's just all mundane, like in the same tempo, it just keeps boring.
Yeah.
I see bands make me nervous that play the clicks and have, like, stuff that's all sequenced on stage because the energy level is just so flat. There's no movement in it, you know. It doesn't move around at all.
That's a good point.
You got to have some energy and some human factor going on in there where, so you speed up a little bit. It's called excitement.
Yeah, that's right. That's one of the cool things, you know, going to the live shows. There was always some more intensity, you know, that little extra something. That's what gets the fans all excited and pumped up, and then they want to get crazy, and then they, you know, feed that energy back, and it's just this huge transference of energy back and forth. You know, that's what gets these monster pits started.
Yeah, there's not many bands left that get up there and, like, deliver the energy level and start firing stuff off, and you go see them and you go, wow, these guys are getting it, you know?
Yeah, speaking of which, Chris in Massachusetts was wondering who your favorite modern drummer is.
My favorite modern drummer? God, there's so many, and if I said one, then somebody else would be bummed.
Yeah, it's hard to narrow it down.
Well, I mean, who are you looking towards?
I mean, I'll tell you what I'm listening to right now in my car. I've got Lamb of God, I've got Opeth, I've got Porcupine Tree, and I've got Meshuggah.
Oh, yeah, nice. That's a good lineup.
That's a very nice lineup, I must say.
And that's pretty much all I've been listening to, you know, just like in the roundabout. And I listen to a lot of prog metal stuff that's like instrumental. I really like this guy, Gru. His name is GRU from Poland.
Oh, right
He's like a one-man band.
Oh, nice. That's going to be tough to do.
Sick riffs going on there. I try to play drums along to it. like I can't even follow it. It's like, what's happening here?
Wow.
Groove.
Have to check that out.
To it a few times. Yeah, check it out. It's called Cosmogenesis. Is the name of his record. He's awesome. He's got some great melodies going on and parts and stuff. Fun.
Nice.
Musician band, you know. But it's just him. He's like a one-man band. Plays
That is
everything.
awesome. That's a good ability. You should try that, Stack.
Yep.
Negative.
Hey, Chris in Massachusetts also asks, what song is a regular jam for you to play when you sit down at your set?
A regular jam for me to play. God, you know, I've been playing to like I said, Opeth or Diane Ward. They got like a rave rap stuff. You ever heard of Diane Ward from South Africa?
Huh? Nope.
Yeah,
Have to
see,
check
that's
it out.
obscure, very obscure band, and they're like rave rap kind of stuff. But their beats are really cool, and they've got some really high energy stuff that doesn't have drums on it. And I play along to that as kind of a warm up and just
that's cool.
kicking beats out on it.
I have to check that out too. See, I'm getting informed. I'm learning
it's
something
an
on the show.
informative show, dude. I'm telling you, we can almost bill this as an informative show. So
I listen to Symphony X too. Is another band I trip out on. Symphony X is really a prog kind of pump band for drums, and I play along with their stuff a lot.
That upbeat intensity stuff for sure.
Oh yeah,
makes,
it's
makes good
definitely
sense.
high energy drumming.
a question from that I got in person today from Colin in California here. If you could sit behind your own, if you don't already, sit behind your dream kit, what would it be? He wants to know because he's a gearhead himself.
It'd probably be like a virtual kit that I could create and make it like all holographic.
You know what? Those are incredibly cool nowadays.
You know, and have this crazy kit. Like Bozio's kit is kind of over the top, but I would have something along the lines of that. I'd have really big, huge drums. Like my actual idea for a like crazy video would be to have like one of those robot suits that you get inside and those like 100-foot tall dudes and you sit up inside the head. And then he picks up like these telephone poles and he goes and plays on this kit that's like 4-story high bass drums and like huge rack toms and just like this giant set up outside. And he sits down and it's all hydraulics and he just starts playing up in the top on like a little pad kit. But on the outside, he's like 100 feet tall and he's playing this monstrous drums out in the distance.
Yes.
Like, people are just, what is that noise? Where's it coming from?
That's when you know you're having a good time.
And then have a whole band like that. You could put on a concert, you know, out in the middle of wherever and have these 100-foot tall robots playing metal out in the desert.
I hope you're not giving away your next video concept here.
It could be a rap video concept. I mean, just someone will steal it, whatever. Everything that's ever thought of or any ideas I come up with, I know somebody else is thinking it at the same time. So.
You know what? I think the same thing. It's hard to have that. As soon as you hit the cosmic mental wave, you know, your idea becomes everybody's idea at the same time. You're like, damn, I shouldn't have thought that out loud because now everybody else is knowing it.
Right. The only thing I ever asked for from the universe or from the higher power out there, I just ask for the balance in things. I never say I want to get over on this or I want to get back at this person or I want to get that.
Yeah, that complicates life.
I just ask for the balance and make sure everything's even keeled.
And that's a good mentality to have.
Most people thought everything should just be balanced out, you know.
And that actually
Like
kind of
everybody's
segues.
like, are you pissed at Dave and all this kind of shit? And I'm like, no, I'm not pissed at Dave at all. You know, everything happens the way it's supposed to, and that happened for a reason.
Okay, see that this all ties into the whole Cosmos thing because Alex in North Carolina, which you just answered his question for him, wants to know if you think you were unreasonably let go from Megadeth, which you kind of answered that right there.
I mean, kind of in a way. I didn't really appreciate being fired over the telephone like 2 days after I had surgery on my knee, but
For sure.
at the same time, it was kind of a relief, and it was kind of like, oh, wow, I'm glad that's over. You know, it's like I hung up the phone and I was pissed off, and I was just like, a lot of things were transpiring before that, and the morale was kind of low, and we were doing smaller gigs and making less money and changing the musical direction, and just a lot of things came into play, and everybody was having different ideas about things and how we should do this and how we should do that, and it's really hard to stay focused as a band and like everybody be on the same page. And like, you know what? Let's face it, it's Dave's band. He is Megadeth, and I never really had a problem with that or tried to fight him on that. But I tried to interject as much stuff as I could into the band and give as many of my ideas, you know, because it was my band too, you know. It wasn't like I was
For sure, it's a team effort, right? For sure.
Totally, man. And 4 guys that are all thinking the same thing, moving in that forward direction, are way stronger than one guy that's moving in that direction, trying to pull the other guys behind him, going, come on. You know, one guy wants to play jazz, one guy wants to play metal, one guy wants to play, you know, pop, and it's like, it just doesn't work.
You got to go with what your passion is, for sure.
Dude, that's what makes the huge bands huge. Like Lamb of God, for instance. Those guys are so focused on what they want to do, and they just chill it. When I see them in concert, they create the energy.
Yeah, for sure. They're a great band.
They are high energy on stage too.
They pump out the shit, and their tones are awesome. And it's like, I like most all of their songs. They're just pumped.
Yeah, I think Chris Adler is. Out. I think Chris Adler is one of the better sounding live as compared to studio. I mean, he's got the same sound in studio that he does live.
He's very precise.
Yeah.
He's got some silly stuff. Everything that a normal drummer would play at like a regular tempo beat, this guy double timed it.
It almost sounds like he's
like double timed, and like it's almost like a punk type thing, you know.
It almost sounds like he's running while sitting behind the kit sometimes.
Mm-hmm. He's very relaxed too. I've never seen him play. I've seen him a few times, and it's like
seen him a couple.
The dude's like he's kicking back, you know. Very relaxed, very finesseful, and very just hammering. Like he doesn't play any like wimpy stuff.
No, he's a powerhouse drummer for sure.
So we got a. Oh, go ahead. We have one last question. Okay, and that is from Juki himself from Kosher Metal. He actually wanted us to ask this question. There is some speculation that your drum tracks were replaced on the remastered versions of Megadeth's albums you appeared on.
Yes.
That is true.
They are. And they weren't replaced, but they changed the sounds of them, which I was really kind of put out by. I was like, why did you use that sound? If you have the original versions of those albums and you listen to them and then you play the remastered ones, I mean, come on. What are you trying to do? You want to sell the record again, or do you want to like have people not listen to it at all?
For sure.
No, I definitely prefer all the originals.
They put some funky like reverbs on the snare, and they changed like sounds on the shit and EQs, and it's like, dude.
It sounds airy. It sounds like open air.
Not right.
Yeah.
And after you listen to some of your favorite albums for such a long time, and then it gets remastered and they change it, it's like, what? What's this?
Shenanigans. I call shenanigans.
So
it's like foreign, yeah.
Like Manowar is doing that lately with their old albums. Coming out with remastered versions of.
Aren't they actually re-recording it though?
They are, but it's just not the same.
It's the modernized Manowar sound, but with
modernized.
The old
See, that's exactly what he's talking about. Going and adding, changing stuff.
I think the only ones who did that actually tastefully were Anthrax with The Greater of Two Evils.
When you do it, you stick with what makes it cool in the first place, right?
Right. It just gets that sound, and it takes on a certain. You just accept it for what it is, and it's got the energy, and it's right. It's like Zeppelin going in and changing Bonham's drum sound.
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
It's not going to work, man. Yeah, right. It is. It's like, don't mess with that shit. Ozzy did the same thing. Ozzy did the remastering of this stuff, and they had those other guys come play over the parts that were already originally there. The Ozfest band or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
They redid the bass and the drums and the guitar on a couple of those tracks, and it's like, why? Why are you going to go there?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the live stuff with bands is always kind of a catchy thing because, they do stuff in the live versions that they don't do on the studio versions, which makes it that much more special.
Right.
More special?
It's funny, like a lot of the bands that do that stuff, like Opeth, for instance, when they play live, they play the same parts every time. They don't ad-lib, they don't go for any extension parts, and the fans, I notice, want to see them play that part, I just did like a couple videos that I threw up on YouTube of like Holy Wars and Wake Up Dead and whatever.
Oh, nice.
And of course they got pulled down because they got like 200,000 hits on Holy Wars, and they told my cymbal company, they said, if you don't pull this video off, we're going to shut down your website.
Oh, man.
And I don't know where that came from, because there's other kids up there that are playing covers of Megadeth songs, but they didn't get their videos pulled down. So I got kind of bent out of shape about that. I thought, you know what? It's all good, man. It's like, that's in the karmic universe there. It's all going to come back around, and it's be like, okay, pull it off there, you guys. Fine. I'm okay with it. I'm not tripping on it. And it's copyright infringement. I'm like, give me a fucking break, man.
It's politics, right?
I ain't trying to sell anything. I'm not trying to... If anything, it helps them out. And I want Megadeth to do good, you know? So then I do good. And it helps the catalog sell, and I get a bigger publishing checks, you know, royalties, whatever. And it's all good. I ain't trying to badmouth those guys or talk shit about them and say, oh, they're screwed, you know, fuck those guys. I still listen to their music, you know? People ask me, you ever listen to Megadeth music when you're home? I go, sure. I play to it every day.
Yeah. You know, and they're great albums. It's hard not to listen to.
Dude, I love, like, Rust in Peace is my favorite album.
Nice.
What was your favorite album to record?
Probably Rust in Peace, because it was the first thing that I did with them. And actually, I did No More Mr. Nice Guy single for the Shocker movie.
Oh,
it was actually the first recording session I did with Megadeth, but first LP that I did was Rust in Peace. And, dude, that was so much fun.
Because you were in the energy zone, huh? It was new.
Oh, dude, we were so pumped. They were like, dude, you got to mellow out, you got to relax, and you got to slow down. And it's like, why?
Yeah, we're Megadeth. You know, we're jamming out. Yeah, for sure.
It's like the ultimate situation. It's like you can play anything you want. And Dave took me aside and he said, dude, you can play whatever you want if you play the right shit.
Nice.
And I'm like, what does that mean? He's like, just play, just go for it, man. Whatever you
just
think
make
you
it
can
bitchin'.
do, fit it in there, make it happen, you know?
Nice.
It's nice to have that freedom.
Yeah, totally, man. It was like the respect was there, and all that shit just fell into place. And when you get a bunch of guys who can play, get up by themselves, and you put them together, nobody needs to tell anybody how the song goes. It just starts going, and that's it. We write songs on the cuff, like bang, you know, done.
Yep, right on.
Nice,
that, you know, some of the best inspirations come just like that, right? You know, it's not the one that you sit and try to plan out for a long time. It's just,
all that contrived shit doesn't work. And you know, I don't want to say anything bad about the new music, but it sounds very forced and unnatural to me.
You know, I hate to have to agree, but I have to agree.
Words.
Yeah.
The energy is low. It's low-level energy, and it just sounds like it's not really them. Like something's masking it, or something's like holding them from busting out of the shell. It's like, come on, you're Megadeth, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, and it's not like the Lulu album was selling huge to where, you know, Metallica is a huge competition right now.
Well, the Black Album, though.
Yeah, the Black Album.
That's still selling, right?
Yeah, it is.
That is actually selling incredibly well. It does like an X amount of units per week, and we were amazed by that.
They were actually comparing it to the Super Collider.
Super Collider, yeah. It actually had outsold, the Black Album had outsold Megadeth's Super Collider 1 week.
Yeah.
Super Collider, I like a couple songs on there, and then that's about it. And then it's not something I put on to listen to get excited.
Pumped up and start destroying shit around the house.
The songs
I put on like Black Friday or you know, My Last Words or Bad Omen or Black Friday to get pumped up.
Nice.
Well, you know, and Sweating Bullets is one of my favorite tunes, and Dimebag himself actually took the name Black Tooth Grin from that song.
Yes, he's tattooed it on his leg.
Yeah.
That's a fan
I was
right
living
there.
in Europe when they did that. He came and goes, check it out, Dad. He goes, Black Tooth. So I'm like, you're out of your mind, dude. He got a tattooed on his leg and it's down on his calf.
So you guys toured...
Black Tooth Grin. He had this black tooth with a circle around his smile. It's Black Tooth Grin, like written in print around the tooth in the center.
So you guys toured a lot with Pantera?
Yeah, we did a couple tours with them. We did in the States, and then we did Europe. We were out with them. They were a fun band too.
Huge fan of Pantera, huge fan of Dimebag himself, and was he just as crazy and eccentric as they show him on the home videos? That wasn't him just performing; he was just that way 24/7.
Dude, every night I'd go out and watch those guys for a few songs before we'd go on it, and they would fucking kick their audience into the butt.
Nice.
They really would. They just knock them dead every time. I'm like, you know what? It kind of sucks having to go on after these guys because they're so pumped and they're just so fired up, man. They get the audience so worked. It's like, another example is like Clash of the Titans. When we did Clash of the Titans, nobody wanted to go on after Slayer. Nobody wanted to be after Slayer. So we wanted Slayer to go on last, but the fourth slot sucked because the audience is burned out after 3 heavy bands. Then you got this last band and everybody's just burned out. They can't get too much music for that amount of time, that pump, ratio going on. So
yeah, that was a killer tour.
The fourth slot, we kept switching off to who's going to go on after Slayer. Nobody wanted to go on after Slayer because the audience is done after Slayer. So we're like, you guys should be the headliners. You guys should go on last. We're like, we don't want to go on last. We want to go on first.
Going on first is kind of a double-edged sword, though, because not many people are in the show. They're kind of pre-gaming it out in the parking lot,
Yeah, but for that show, it was like you get 4 bands for your buck, and it was like that was one of the first festival tours where you had 4 main bands that were all kind of equals.
I was at that tour. I saw them in Phoenix, Arizona. I went to the Clash of the Titans tour. I think it was the tail end of it.
Mm-hmm. It was Alice in Chains opened up, I think.
That's right. Alice in Chains opened up. It was an awesome show. I had a great time. You guys were awesome. Yep. Everybody was awesome. It had, that whole experience was a great. I'm glad I got to be a part of it.
And then Europe, we used Testament opened up.
Yeah, Testament
Not
is
Alice in
awesome.
Chains.
which I think should be part of the Big Five.
I agree.
Yeah, they're
I agree
up
with
there.
that. Well, they're another band that's just kind of stuck true to their nature and what they do, and they've always been pumped. And those guys are cool guys. When I texted for Megadeth when I was a drum tech, it was Flotsam, Jetsam, Testament, and Megadeth. And,
Flotsam and Jetsam. I remember them.
Yeah, we hung out all the time with the Testament guys because we rode on the same bus, double-decker bus we had to all the gigs and stuff in Europe, and it was like, they were cool guys. That's how I got to know them, and then once I got a Megadeth, they were like, dude, you were the tech. Whoa.
Nice. It's hooked
Shit
up.
happens, Yep.
So I just have to ask, once again, reverting back to Pantera and Dime, was there a favorite Dime story you had?
He's a huge Pantera fan.
Yeah, we had some fun, I can tell you that. We've had a couple of fun backstage adventures, and
of course.
I don't want to implement anybody.
Gotcha.
Suffice to say, it was a good time.
Those guys are non-stop antics, those guys.
That's the way you
got
got to be.
They had their own language and shit. This time was always like, dude, that's cut, Dad. That's C-section. I want you guys a C-section. He goes, I'm out, bro. I'm like, all right, you're cutting out, huh? Yeah, he was just a cool dude, man. Great player. Him and his brother, both. And it's such a shame that happened the way it happened and all that shit went down. I don't even know what to say about it.
Dime and Vinny could have actually been a little piece of Megadeth there for a while, but I believe you actually snagged the spot, or?
I don't know what the deal was. It was about something about if he joins the band, then my brother's got to be playing, and it was like, well, we already got a drummer, and it was all that shit. I mean, I played with Slayer for a month before I got into Megadeth. And
Nice.
Lombardo left the first time, and I was like learning their songs and getting ready to go to Europe with them, and then Lombardo ended up coming back, and I didn't go with them, and I ended up joining Megadeth shortly after that.
Seems like the Big Four just kind of always swapped members briefly.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a whole handful of guys around that could really want to do that. I didn't know that I wanted to do it. When I started playing the Slayer stuff, I was like, everything that I knew about drumming, pretty much I had to just put that aside and like rethink how I'm hitting and how I'm sitting and how I'm playing and how I'm breathing, because it's just, that was one of the most animal drumming gigs that I did because I play so hard. It's like I couldn't play those songs that hard, that fast.
Yeah. Nice.
You got to pick the stick back up and hit it down again, and some of those beats are just like ridiculous. I was like, what? Who wants to play that? Who can play that?
Yep.
So yeah, that was just pre-preparation.
Yeah. They had an abrupt ending. It was with the death of Jeff Hanneman. Well, they're still on tour. Slayer
They're still on
right?
tour, yeah, and they're planning a new album, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to continue on. That's for sure. Yeah, that was messed up when I heard about that, and I was like, wow.
Yep, that was
you
shocking.
You just never know what's going to happen. And people are always asking me, will you ever get back in Megadeth? I said, you know what? I'm not going to say no, I'll never rejoin Megadeth, because
keep
I'm
all
sure
possibilities open.
Yep, when it all dies out and Dave's sitting there and he's pick up the phone and goes, dude, what are you doing?
Nice.
It's highly possible, you know. I'm not going to say, I would never rejoin Megadeth, you know. It's not something I'm planning on doing in the near future, but like I said, you never know what's going to happen.
Right, you never know. We've got to go where the river takes you, right?
No, and there's no point in burning any bridges so that you can't cross over into that area again if you need to or want to. And I just like, dude, music is my hobby. It's always been my hobby for my life, and it's like I don't play music thinking I can make money here because I wanted to be a rock star or any of that shit. I find enjoyment in making music. I produce, I engineer, I play all instruments. It's like I do stuff now for money that I hate because that's the only work that there is. You know, I'm doing like hip hop, I'm doing jazz, I'm doing R&B, I'm doing.
I saw you have a wide genre of music. That's good to be versatile.
I do all kinds of stuff. And, I'm working with some of the guys in P-Funk and doing R&B stuff and producing, and it's fun. I like it's a challenge. And someone comes to me and goes, hey, dude, can you make a song like this? And they give me like an idea or temp music that they want something to sound like, and I'm like, sure. And I just tell them that I can when I know I can't, but I do it anyways. And there's a formula there for music, of writing stuff. And when you listen to all the top, I always go online and I research all the top bands in that genre of music and see what's the shit, And it's like, I just did the sample library, and I went online and I looked at all these drum loops and waves and stuff that they have, and I'm like, that's it? That's your number one selling CD right there, those sounds and those beats? And they're like, well, yeah. And I'm like, dude, I'll destroy that. I mean, what can I tell you? And a lot of guys that drum don't want to do that shit. They're like, I'm not giving my beats away. It's like, dude, drums aren't publishing. You can't publish a drum beat.
Yeah, I wondered. You can't do that, right?
No, it's only the words and the melody of the chorus is publishing in a song. So the guitar riff, the bass riff, the drum licks, all that shit, you can't publish that shit. It's all been done over and over and over again. In every song, the same beats are going on.
Right.
But really, if you want to scientifically sit down and you want to pick music apart and look at it and go, you know what? Look at the last 50 years on the number one singles in Billboard, and look at the similarities on how much every song is exactly the same amount of chord changes, arrangements. It's just a different words and a different sound.
A little bit different melody.
Yep, and it's all
with
the
some
same
different hooks.
Dude, Mozart and Beethoven, they wrote that shit 200 years ago. They were writing those changes. It's all been done. It's just all in the repackaging of it. How's your coffee? How do you want your coffee? Oh, I'll take cream and sugar in it.
Yeah, that's a good perspective of looking at it.
Yeah, I mean, put it in this cup. It's like blue jeans. You got all these different kinds of jeans, and it's like, dude, they're all denim, whatever, Levi's.
Right.
But somebody's got the cool tag. My tag sells for $1,000.
Sweet.
That's very cool, man.
I'm babbling to you guys.
That we enjoy the hell out of it, man.
We're glad to have you call. We're having a good time. We just want to make sure everybody throws out or knows about your autobiography, Megalife. It's going to be out really soon, so you can get your copy of that and hit in stores, right?
I'm trying to get it out before Christmas, like the beginning of December, end of November.
Nice, and we also want to try and promote the hell out of the Rock and Roll Autograph Show.
Oh, yes, that's going to be awesome.
That's going to be fun, too, yeah. I think David Ellison's going to be there as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was just reading something that you were quoted as saying that you're going to be on site from 1 to 5 signing posters and for your upcoming book, and stay tuned for the unveiling of the working title and cover art.
We'll try to make it down there to get some signed posters.
Yeah, a funny story is Neil Peart came up with the title of my book. He came up with Megalife because I went to Rush in Arizona, and Neil left the stage and went into the bus and wouldn't come out. I'm like, dude, I just want to get an autograph from him, man. I go, on the bus and meet him. They're like, no, I just want to see anybody right now. I'm like, so dude took his tech, Larry took a Modern Drummer into the bus, and he comes back out and he goes, here, Neil, sign this for you. And I look on the cover and it says, to Nick, happy drumming, and he puts Megalife in parentheses.
Nice.
And I was like, I looked down, I was like, dude, is he dissing me? And he goes, no, because you have to understand Neil's, like, where he's coming from, the sarcasm, and I think it's cool. It's cool, right? And I'm like, don't know, I left there like kind of shaking my head like, wow, that was kind of weird, you know. And then I've been kicking around titles on the book, you know, Life After Death, My Life with Death, Alive After Death, all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, you know what, I don't want to have anything with death in it because then I'm not going to get in the Oprah Book Club.
For sure.
If I have Mega Life, you know, Nick Menza's Mega Life, Above and Beyond. And,
it's positive.
Yeah, it gives a positive connotation.
Totally. And it was a Mega Life that I was living there. So, and I'm still living it. And it's like...
Well, we're looking
cool
forward
title.
to reading the book.
It's going to be fun. You're going to dig it. There's some funny
Nice.
stuff in there that you're just going to laugh your ass off when you read it. And it's all true shit. I didn't bring any bullshit in there, you know.
You
I
don't seem
thought
like a
about that
bullshit
at
artist.
first. I'm like, let's just put a bunch of lies in there and don't use anybody's names and just be like, and the singer, he came out and, you know, it's
Yeah.
like,
Leave it nice and
names
vague.
there's no names for anybody. You can just figure it out who's who and make it just totally comical. But
I'm not going to
That's
name
only
any
gonna go
names,
so
but
far.
Larry Fing
right,
of the band
right,
Bayer.
the guy with the red hair.
You know, the guy
The
with the
red
two
hair
eyes in the
too.
nose.
Wink, wink.
Now, there's some funny shit in there. I mean, it's just like when I started writing it with this J. Marshall Craig, the guy who did it, he'd trigger some stuff, you know, and make me remember things. He'd go, hey, what about this? And he'd ask me some questions. I go, how do you know about that? And he goes, well, I did some research and looked stuff up on the internet. And I go, well,
That's
let
cool.
me tell you what really happened, you know. So he had all kinds of stuff that he'd bust out and that I was not even remembering, you know. And then he'd trigger stuff in me and I'd remember it. And it's cool. It's all
Very
good.
cool. It should be an awesome read. I'm looking forward to reading it myself.
Cool.
Right on. Hey, do you have any shout-outs or websites you'd like to promote?
I just put up a new website. I was trying to put out Nick books, like Facebook, but
Nice.
that didn't happen. So I put out menzajams.com.
Yeah, that's cool. I saw the site is under construction right now. I tried to go to it earlier
Yeah.
today.
I'm trying to put some really cool stuff on there, like, you know, that people... I'm trying to get like a streaming live thing where I can go on there and jam
The
out.
background
with
is
other
really
people.
cool.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff on it. It's going to be really rad when I get it all finished, but it's in the works right now. And I got another project that I'm working on, a musical project that I'm going to have a pilot for, like a cartoon and a comic book. It's called The
Nice.
Atomic Disintegrator. And
That sounds
that's
metal.
going to be... Yeah, no, it's total metal. And he's like a super alien, cyborg, part human guy, and he's the Atomic Disintegrator. The first episode, he's going to go to Japan and save them from nuclear meltdown and save the reactors from melting down in the Earth's core and
So
destroying the
that's
world.
what happened. I knew that's how it played out in real life.
Something's got to happen. Somebody's got to do something, man. I can't believe they're just sitting there looking at it, just going, what's happening here?
Well, have you
It's kinda
seen
scary.
they have that Pacific trash rim or something out in the ocean. It's like the size of a giant island now. It's just a cumulative
Toxic
pile
Garbage
of...
Island.
Yeah, exactly. And nobody... I guess it's just because it's not common knowledge. People aren't freaked out about it because it's not in your face.
Getting a little
Yeah.
swept under the rug there.
It's getting close, but, you know, until somebody
Dude, that
actually
brings
sees
me-
it...
Yeah, it's like twice the size of Texas and
Yeah, it's
90 miles or
ridiculous.
90 feet deep in some places. And
It's
all
going to have its own
plastic.
agricultural environment pretty soon.
I think it already has its own zip code.
Yeah, probably. You know, that brings me to another one of my favorite bands that I'm listening to that I didn't mention is Gojira.
Oh, yeah. We actually like to play those guys on the show. They're a pretty cool band.
Gojira kicks ass. Their drummer kicks ass.
Yes.
Right on.
I like those guys a lot. Gojira.
Gojira and Randy Blythe, one of Randy Blythe's favorite bands. I think he's actually
Yeah,
done some
he
guest
actually
vocals.
sings on a song, right?
I believe so.
He sings on one of their tracks. Something Flood the Flesh or Flesh the Mind or I don't know what it's called. I just
Yeah.
dig those guys. They're way raw and they're way pumped and their new record's really good.
Well, man, we
Very
are totally excited to have had you on the show.
Thank you
I'm
for coming
excited to
on.
be here.
And,
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. Anytime you would like to come on and hang out with us again, or that's always going to be cool.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
You got the number stored now, so feel free to give us some
I do.
updates. And we have thoroughly enjoyed this time talking to you, man. You're a hell of a guy.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And we're pretty excited about that cause you're doing and donating the money all to the
St.
St.
Jude.
Jude's Children's Research Hospital. That's a admirable thing.
Dude, it's all about the kids, you know. I got two kids, 7 and 13 years old, and two boys.
So you know how it is
and-
to be a father.
Dude,
And
I do
Gotta take care of
everything for my
business.
kids.
For
I
sure.
spend my last penny on my kids, and it's like, let's go back to that Megadeth song. Who'd think that we'd spend more money shipping drugs and guns than to educate our sons?
Yeah, there's probably truth to that.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, America's so screwed up in some areas, you know, and this is like the land of opportunity, and it's supposed to be all great and everything. And
Yeah,
you
my
know,
taxes
it's
are
okay.
going up on an uncontrollable rate. You know, my
Dude,
raises
my
don't
power,
go up that
my
way.
water and power is going up at an uncontrollable rate. I'm
Yeah,
like
it's
$1,000 every month.
Oh, that's a hell of a hit right there. Solar
Yeah,
panels.
it's killing me. I'm getting them. They're coming to put them in this week.
Oh, nice. Ahead of the
I'm like
game.
going to get off the ground, coming off the grid.
Yeah, because you know what? They're just
They're like a mafia.
surcharges. Exactly. They just regulate the price, and what they say is what we pay. We don't have any
Yeah,
option.
you can't fight it. They'll just come set you off.
It's like taxes, right? It's a voluntary to pay taxes, but if you try not voluntarily paying your
They
taxes
slam
at the
your
end
ass
of the
in
year,
jail.
yeah, that's a bad thing. Yeah, it's totally voluntary. It's,
May we remind
We're
you
ready
about
for
the
change.
violations
The change
if
is coming.
yep, I hope
It's gonna
so,
be
man.
changed.
There's a lot of people
It has
waking
to.
up lately, you know. So
Yeah, it's the awareness and the awakening.
yep, you know, they can only push so much. It's only a matter of time.
Yep. Well, right on,
Very
you
cool.
guys. You guys need me to do a shout out for the station? Or...
Oh, that'd be awesome, dude. Metalocity, that'd be fucking cool.
Hi, this is Nick Menza, and you're listening to Metalocity with Stack and Steel.
Yeah, awesome.
fuck yeah, killer.